inequality of student athletes is a problem most of us know nothing about. We hear stories of athletes taking money from coaches or sponsors, but we don't hear the stories behind the athletes. A report from 2011 titled "The Price of Poverty in Big-Time College Sports" reports that 85% of college athletes on scholarships live below the poverty line, and many come from households below the poverty line as well. They work hard to receive a scholarship to get the opportunity to get an education or to maybe become a professional. But scholarships don't pay for everything. They aren't guaranteed if a player is injured and cannot continue to play. The college sports industry is a billion-dollar industry with revenues of upwards of $11 billion, according to U.S. News and World Reports. College coaches can also make upwards of $7 million per year while missing games due to injury or due to sickness, or also they could lose their jobs and find another coaching position paying just as much or maybe somewhere close to what they used to make. But student athletes do not get that luxury. If they are injured, they may lose their scholarship and may not be able to attend college anymore because scholarships are not guaranteed for 4 years. I think that student athletes should be able to receive scholarships under circumstances like getting injured and not being able to play. And I believe that they also should receive extended medical coverage and that they should be able to profit from their name or their brand from things such as sponsors, jersey sales, commercials, video games, etc. Colleges should understand that recruiting an athlete comes with trust from that athlete towards the school. It's one of the biggest decisions of their lives. It's also a scary situation. If it is out of state and the athlete does not have any relatives in the area, if they get injured, they don't expect to lose their scholarship or get kicked out of school because of an injury during sports. Shouldn't the athlete be able to earn a degree if they get injured during the season? The college should be trying to help the athlete get an education before anything and want the athlete to graduate. I think that guaranteeing the scholarship for an athlete under certain circumstances, such as getting injured, should be put into place. Injuries are a big deal in sports, and injuries could happen to anyone playing sports, whether it be professional, amateur, or recreational. But injuries are more likely to happen in competitive atmospheres such as college sports. Student athletes do not receive medical coverage from schools during injury during the season, and these athletes are risking their bodies every time they play. There have been many debates on whether a student should be considered an employee of a university. An article called Should College Athletes Be Paid to Play by Kenneth Cooper discusses this situation with 2 law professors out of the University of Michigan State. In the article, Robert and Amy McCormick, the 2 law professors, argue that student athletes are employees under federal labor laws and are entitled to form unions and negotiate wages, hours, and working conditions. They also state their reasoning being that common law has 3 tests. The first is the right of others to control a person's activity. Second is whether that person is compensated. And third is whether that person is economically dependent on that compensation. They argued that the athletes were controlled by coaches. They also argued that athletic scholarships account for that compensation and that the players are dependent on the scholarship for food and shelter while they attend school. I find that argument very interesting, and I do think that athletes should get medical coverage that they deserve for the amount of damage they put on their bodies. As I stated before, I do not believe that student athletes should be paid by universities, but I do believe that there should be an allowance for something set that can help these athletes. Most of them are full-time students or full-time athletes, and it's hard for them to get part-time jobs to supplement what they receive from scholarships. Steve Spurrier, who is a well-known head coach in sports and the head coach of the University of South Carolina, suggests that giving players a set amount per game and encouraging them to use it to help to help their parents or their loved ones travel to their games and watch them play. I wouldn't disagree with that, but I think that athletes in college should be able to receive money from sponsors or receive money from commercials or video games that they are put in, and not receive money from the university because of the university's reputation or from the university's name, but from their own brand that they make or their own image that they portray. There's little changes like these that can make a big difference for the equality of student athletes. They are the ones risking their bodies, and they should be the ones to profit from that, or at least be able to receive a degree if something like an injury were to occur. The university might deny the person who cures a disease or starts the next Facebook or Apple. Thank you.